Native Indian. The only race that seems to think that you can be 50-50 and you can share that power there. But should there be, I have to use the correct terms here, saying like Clubhouse, should there be an intruder that tries to come into your house, the woman's expecting the man to come stand up and then fight the intruder, battle with the intruder. But there's not 50-50 there. That seems to be 100% the power goes towards the man in that situation. But every other thing else, oh no, when it comes to this, when it comes to money, it comes to, nah, come on, let's stop playing games. Sisters, y'all know what it is. And you know what, the ones that be saying stuff like that, right? I be hearing that. I be listening to podcasts. A lot of the ones that be saying that there's 50-50 and they want to share power and they want freedom is them girls that be on OnlyFans and them ones that be on OnlyFans and what else? The ones that be want to show they behind on TikTok and Instagram Reels and Facebook, always on social media, talking about how they got a mind and calling brothers that talk about topics like this, they call them red pill. Them sisters, that's the ones.
Hey, now that you say that though, you look at them podcasts and such. You look at any of those podcasts where those who do those OF type of content, like I said, I ain't gonna speak in detail. They put themselves on the same level as those who may be high value or like high high producing in society, if you will, for lack of better words. They put themselves on the same level. I make $1 million, or I make $400,000 a year. Your 400,000 is different from a man that is, I would say, constructive in his society. Maybe a businessman, a blue collar, white collar. I don't know the exact difference, but your 400,000 is different from them because of what they had to do for it. This society shows us that we're not equal. Men cannot show their body in such a way and get the same type of outcomes that a woman may have. It's impossible.
Hey, you know the answer, that, right? When it comes to like this, like the societal structure, when it comes to a country being built, whatever it is, the important pieces to keep the country running, right? STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, right? The main people in that field is men, period. And that just keeps the country rolling. When it comes to the engineering and the intuitive minds behind architecture, the mathematics, the science, the new and the dated technological advances, all of that. Majority, I'm not saying there's no women in there, but even if there are, they're still being led, and the majority that's in those fields that runs a country, that runs a society, are men.
Mm.
Usually when women fall into something to where they actually start getting money, it's always something very, very close or very near that's clerical, something behind a desk, very cushy, keyboard pushers, uh, you know, administrative assistant, office is something like that. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, the grind hard work, some of the things that people don't like to put on a job application, like the oil rig workers, the oceanographers, the people that's doing deep sea
Mm.
plugging in
Right, right, right.
with the cables to make sure that your internet works. You know, the internet that sisters like to use with OnlyFans and Instagram Reels. Those cables at the bottom of the ocean, brothers are setting that up. Men setting that up. Nobody want to do those jobs, but yeah, everybody want to claim 50-50. No, the sisters do not. They help out the men who hold up the country.
Yeah, that's why most of the men put they put women in more so secretary forms of position, secretary type of positions, because we can set it up. But one thing I will say is these women will administrate, for lack of better words. The men will do the hard labor, the women will administrate or do the secretary form of work. Is there any shame in that? No, everybody has their roles. The question is, like, as we have 82 listeners coming in, are we still equal? Are Do these various roles that JB then spoke about, that we talking about now, are we still equal? If you come into a job interview and they have a opening for, I don't know, iron worker, and you expected to do the same form of labor that a man, would you be slighted? Would you feel offended by that? If we're truly equal, that's the question.
Hey, hey, Gary, check this out.
What's
I'm
up, bro?
looking at it, right. It says, but the man has to come with money for the date.
Who said that?
Uh, It's reflecting. I'm seeing that right there. I'm seeing a comment that sister made. But the man has to come with money for the date. So okay.
Mm.
Um, I do say I'm gonna tell you something. I sometimes listen to this podcast called Whatever Podcast. Sometimes I listen to it. They have idiots that begin on there, honestly. The trash of society sometimes go on there and talk about something, but sometimes the conversation is good, but it is what it is. And I hear that a lot of the stuff that they have on there seems to go viral all throughout social media. One of the questions that they ask on there is who should pay for the first date,
Mm.
right? Um, Almost majority of the time, it's always saying the man. The man has to pay for the first date, which whatever. When you go like traditional, however you want to call it, then okay, whatever. Now I'm gonna tell you in the scriptures, dating is somewhat of a what's the word I'm looking for? It's somewhat like a ladder towards promiscuity, being promiscuous. I'm gonna say it again. Dating is somewhat of a ladder to being promiscuous. If you're going on dates with somebody, usually with those dates, most everybody that's not biblically disciplined, you're expecting that there's going to be some favors after that date. The man puts
Mm-hmm.
out decent amount of change on a date with the sister. He's expecting to go back to his apartment or his house and then get some goods from the sister. However, in the scriptures, it mentions that there's none of that given, no cookie, no none of that until there's marriage.
Right, right.
You have to prove the friend. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick, if you don't mind, Gabriel.
No.
Um, Sirach 6 and 7.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
Hey, and reflecting, I'm not getting on you. I'm using your comment as a talking point. So don't think that I'm putting heat. I'm seeing the stuff that you put in there. Don't think I'm putting heat on you. I'm using what you said as a talking point. So read that again.
Sirach, chapter 6, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
Right.
Be not hasty to credit him.
Right. Don't be hasty to credit a friend. Hasty is like, all right, first date. Women. Oh, he needs to be making $650,000 a year. He put out $1,000 on the first date. You hasty to give him the goods. That's hasty. Said prove that person because you might be shacking up with a woman beater, a trafficker. That's the best way I could put it. That's the politically correct way I could put it. A trafficker, or something like that. You have no idea who you're getting involved with, sisters. You have no idea who you're getting involved with, brothers. Because some of these women, for those of you who are well off, they're gonna wind up getting with you,
Mm-hmm.
get pregnant on purpose, poke a hole inside the condom, if you will, right? Get a baby by you, and then wind up taking all of what you got. It happens. It's not unseen. It happens.
Happened to Drake.
Happened to Drake. Then he get what's her name? What's that woman name that he got pregnant? Was it Sexy Red?
Oh no, I think that was some dude named I think it was NBA YoungBoy or something like that. They got her
Okay,
pregnant.
okay, bro. I'm telling you, somebody told me. Somebody told me Drake got Sexy Red pregnant, bro. I about lost my mind.
You got muffled. You went muffled.
Oh yeah, hey, you can hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, yo, somebody told me Drake got Sexy Red pregnant, man. I about lost my mind.
You can't make this stuff up. And then she had that one song, been that over, let that breathe. And then a lot of people love that song. The fact of the matter is, though, these same people that's been bending it over and such, for lack of better words, they're poking holes in condoms. Um, how do I say this politically correctly? And Drake happened to put hot sauce in his. In the event somebody was to try to do that, and they tried to sue him because it burnt them up. They tried to sue Drake because it burnt him up. Burnt them up inside. Sorry.
Yeah, hey, TikTok is something else with the way you got to words.
I'm
Hey,
trying to be as clean because, like I said,
yeah.
you don't want to be the reason something gets shut down, but you know, You
Hey,
over you policing like that, sure. You gonna hear me say a different type of speech. Hey, a lot of people are following biblical smoke right now. What we need y'all to do, I'm gonna move right out the way. I need y'all to go to asaph.1. All right, asaph.1 and follow him. All right, bottom of asaph.1. That's his picture right there. We need y'all to follow him. All right, is that Mike G? That is Mike G. Man, some of y'all ain't got enough followers to be able to speak. Y'all saying some stuff.
All right. You got the next time stamp? Let's go.
What up, Mike G?
I don't know if Mike gonna be able to add in. He about to
You
get
should be
ready.
on that show, right?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. But finish what you were saying, yo. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of these people are thinking the same thing, yo. Well, some people might, probably not. I'm gonna tell you straight. Some people may get offended by another a man asking you to pay for the first meal. No, you need to pay for the first meal. If we equal, you need to pay for that meal. All of us, no, I'm not doing that. Especially in this current world where men, like you brought out earlier, men are expecting certain outcomes when they pay for certain. If I'm paying for it, if I'm paying for you, I'm expecting certain things. One brother, I don't know, hey, it's viral right now. One brother, he had a whole hissy fit. He had a whole hissy fit. Who was this? That Judah? Yeah. He had a whole hissy fit. It went viral. He's about to. He wanted to do something violent. Sadly, over a dinner.
Hey, I got a good question. Since there's quite a few people in the chat that can't come up because y'all need to get y'all followers up. Hey, we're gonna be on here. We ain't going nowhere. TikTok is here now. So y'all get y'all followers up so y'all can come and join in. So listen, I got a question. If it is 50-50, like let's say, because I know a lot of people believe in that 50-50 with man and woman, right? Okay. Biblically speaking, let me ask this question, and I want the chat to chime in. Biblically speaking, if the woman cheats on the man, can he leave? Biblically speaking, if the woman cheats on the man, can he leave? I want to see what the chat say. One says yes, somebody says no, he can't leave. I'm seeing some yeses. All right. All right, yes, no. Okay. I'm saying yes. All right, anybody else? If the woman cheats on a man, if it's 50-50, if the woman cheats on a man, can he leave? I want to see. All right, so I'm seeing yeses. All right, what about the opposite? If the man cheats on the woman, can she leave? If the man cheats on the woman, can she leave? Type your answers. Y for yes, N for no. If the man cheats on the woman, can she leave? All right, let's see here. All right. All right. I think we preaching to
Said
the
no,
choir here then.
no. I find it. I'm gonna say. I want to throw this out here, JB. While we you
Yeah,
can
go
get
ahead.
right back. I want to throw this out here. I find it odd that when we had is Jesus is a black man, prove us wrong. We were sitting at 30 something, and now that we changed it to marriage, we went to 90 something. Um, it just shows the values of where we at. I just want to throw that out there. Go ahead.
No, it's facts. Because everything is you know why? There's been this as of recent, there's been like this podcast bubble, right? And I want to say it was a little before Kevin Samuels, truly, but definitely Kevin Samuels. that heat about first he started dealing with the man, but when he said average at best from that video forward, it
Woo-wee.
damn went buck wild after that. Like not just his podcast because people wasn't doing it that much. They had some of them out there. They had some, but after that one, a whole bunch of everybody now wants to be a podcast. Being a social media influencer is the new celebrity. There's no reason for everybody to learn how to rap and sing. They don't want to do that no more. Everybody wants a podcast so they can be famous, so they can get known. Well, newsflash, I got something for all of you influencers. Um, there's been a bill that's put out on by it was by America, and they have a couple other countries that's also following suit. Sooner or later, when it comes to social media funding, based off of words that you say and the content that you push, you will no longer be funded by your influencing. So the monies that you're making, if you're living off of social media, I regret to tell you, not really, that your lifestyle is about to change abruptly. So I just wanted to toss that out there. So, and that's going for the whole marriage thing and whatever, because there's a certain narrative that's trying to get pushed with that. So it's a podcast bubble, man. It's that podcast bubble that people starting to feed into.
Hey, I'm glad you bring that up. Hey, repeat it again for the chat. They asking. Repeat it for the chat.
Yeah, I said it's a podcast bubble, and there's a bill that's coming in that depending on and Apple, like let me help y'all out. Let me add some names in here. Apple is funding it, and Facebook is funding it. Them two companies right there. They're funding a bill that, depending on the content that you push and the words that's used within the content you push, it can go from being PG-13 to and it could be just one episode where you said something that was wrong, right? Or something that was a bit provocative, however you want to call it, a cuss word or whatever. They can label all of your content explicit and shadow ban you, and that's going to be put into policy. Facebook is putting that into policy. If you have certain words that you push or certain content you push, and they put shadow bans on you, you could do as much as you want, but nobody's going to follow you. Whatever influence money that you make from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, that's going to be in the water. That's going to be garbage now. So
Demonetized.
yeah, it's going to be demonetized. So if you're making your living off of social media, I suggest you find a new skill, because that's about to be short-lived. You had a decent run. I was about to mess up. The sickness that went out gave y'all a good clout for about 3-4 years, but that's coming to an end. All
Because
right.
everybody was only, and the thing about it is, at that time, everybody was sitting in the house, and all they had was time. Now that people are starting to get out, you really gonna have some type of voice to be able to get people's ears. The late Samuels, he had content that made ripples throughout everything. You know what I'm saying? To where, who is this? Okay. It had ripples throughout everything to where everybody now wanted to create content. Now everybody wants to be a podcaster. But what is your content concerning? And most of the content concerning now is, for lack of better words, red pill. Red pill. Hey sis, you was just about to come up. What happened?
Yeah. I just found out what red pill was like yesterday. I always heard people say it, and my mind went straight to Matrix, but they're not talking about Matrix.
Nah,
I
nah,
do.
they by far they're not. They're talking about stuff that what we're going over now, which we ain't red pilling nothing. This ain't no red pill conversation. This is literally biblical. This is biblical smoke. The question you have to ask yourself is, outside of the high value man stuff like that, that type of question, you have to ask yourself, in God's eyes, your relationship with God, as people like to put it, where's your relationship? Where's your relationship with God on how your relationship with your man is? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And if your relationship with your man is a certain way on earth, does it perfectly reflect how you think your relationship with God would be? Some people say, yeah, they think they're in a hot spot with the Most High. That's a question we're gonna answer tonight. Do y'all truly believe that the relationship y'all have right now is according to scripture? Is the woman 50-50 with the man? Just because, and I ain't gonna quote a podcast, just because this podcast over here may say, well, you got to be a high value man. This podcast over here says, well, you can't be on OF or whatever. You can't be on none of that. What does the Bible say? and we're gonna determine from that. You got it, JB. My bad.
You hitting on it. So I did want to let me ask you something. Do you see anything on your end where you get to add like topics or hashtags that people can find us on? I don't know. I'm still learning TikTok. I don't really get on it much, but I'm about to start.
Yeah, have to ask yourself. I'm still figuring out myself. Even with the certain speech, you got truth speaker and 504 listening in helping me out on that. So during these, I wouldn't say this ain't a trial run. We actually running, but during these moments, we still polishing up as we go. So this right here came from Yawasop, this idea right here, and when people, as you, I don't know if you're familiar with TikTok, as you scrolling up, people get to see um literally the live that you're on and see who you're talking to. But this right here actually allows them to see the topic. They won't be able to see the topic. They'll see the topic like briefly at the bottom of the screen or something like that. But this right here keeps it at the forefront. You know what I'm saying? Now we could probably put some hashtags at the bottom of it. That'd be a good idea. Now that you say that, like right under there, we just put like hashtags and then like make this a little bit smaller and put biblical smoke like right on the side right here and put hashtags and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think Tears of like she said, you make your topic in the backdrop, which is what, like I said, I just learned that the other day.
yeah. Because I know here on this platform in particular, um, if there was ever, because I made like 4 or 5 posts or something, but I know that when you tag certain things, marriage being or relationships being one of the top 5, no matter what time of year, then a lot of people get flooded towards. I remember Clubhouse for a while. If you remember, they used to have the topics, 3 topics you get to put up there, and then you used to be able to. They what was that? What was that? Clubhouse had did like a self deletion kind of thing. He
Mm.
was like, "Now we can't have nobody find these guys' page." Yeah. Well, we on TikTok now. Hey, y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. And if y'all don't have Clubhouse, download that thing. We can have
Hey, you can't plug other stuff.
Oh snap!
Hey,
I'm gonna fall back.
I'm learning. I had to throw it out there.
I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna
Hey,
wind
you
the
good,
video up.
you good. But you good, yo. Nah, but you in the spirit, yo. We on multiple platforms. That's all I'm gonna say. But most of the time, I'm telling y'all, most of TikTok is an amazing platform to be able to speak to y'all. So I see a lot of y'all joining the chat. We had 96 listeners right now. The question is, hold on a second, let me check that out. We had 96 listeners. We want y'all to instead of just following us, hop on stage, talk to us. The topic is the woman 50-50 with the man. Shoot, that thing can be changed in the blink of an eye too. Get up on stage and then we gonna rock. Wow, we got a lot of people joining in right now.
Hey, on the ASAF ticker, we finally at 150. Still weak, but
Mm.
150.
He need 300 right now. ASAP.1
Right.
he need 300 right now. How often are you going to be on TikTok? You just joined her. Hold up.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm seeing that Zion the Jew. It's 164 shares. Yeah, hey, get the shares up. Continue to share the room. I don't know why I forgot to say that. Share the
Probably
room.
the Jew. Hey, Akil Aka, Mr. Aj.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Shalom, most high Christ bless.
Shalom, Messiah, bless. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Who you learning from?
Um, I'm going to school in IUIC Raleigh.
I know you are then. Okay. Hey, I seen your comments. So, names be kind of AK. I'm reading it like it was
No,
arrow.
it says Akil,
AKA.
aka AJ. Yeah.
Man, look, bro. Hey, respect, bro. Respect, bro. Hey, I'm gonna drop you to the box, bro.
All right.
Hey, shalom, Jew.
Shalom.
Go ahead, JB. Look. I'm inviting people up to the stage.
Hey, he said he was in Raleigh.
Yeah, Raleigh.
Yo, say, bruh, we gonna talk, man. I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna see you this. I'm gonna see you this Saturday, man.
Snap, yo! Like I said, I'm inviting people up to the stage. People that I see. But we want, yeah, much love, yo, much love, bro. All right,
Yep.
hey, come up on stage. Go ahead, you.
Nah, I ain't got much right now. I want to see what the people talking about, man. That's what I'm saying. Follow ASF1. You know.
Move out the way. I seen Solomon, Solo the Jew that had hopped up on stage. I'm gonna move out the way right quick. Make sure y'all follow. We got 504 said something good just a minute ago. One of the chats. We got many people to follow. Follow yourself. Follow JB. Follow Baruch. Baruch the Scribe. Follow him as well. Follow Young Simba. All right, Follow 504 Matt. He may not be on here, but he was on here, bro. Follow him. We need the followers, bro. All right, go to Gino Biggie at the bottom over there as well. That's my tag. Follow so we can make this thing. We can make this thing work. All right. Somebody put ASAF one. No, ASAF dot WON one. Make sure y'all plugging the right thing. But I had invited one sister up here. You still ain't came up. All right.
Hey, so this wanted to ask, what are some of the problems that make people think that the relationship between man and woman is 50-50?
Well, since you opened it up for discussion,
Yeah.
I think. I honestly think, as far as I'm gonna go from a man's perspective first, and maybe the chat may say something different. Some people say society. No, I think from the man's perspective, we think there are certain benefits from saying that we 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine moving in with somebody and you have the mindset that you're gonna have to take care of every single thing. Though I'm gonna say the weak mindset. I ain't gonna say, like, it's a strong mindset itself. You have the mindset that says, um, I'm gonna take care. I have to take care of everything from the bills to the children. Everything that comes across, I'm gonna have to take care of it. It sounds way more serious hearing that than when you hear as a man taking in a woman. We just gonna split everything down the middle. And I think the burden in your mind, for the American man, I'm gonna say it like that. The American man says, you know what? My burden is not that heavy then, since we sharing everything down the middle. You know what I'm saying? But then it's a certain mindset that also comes with that. You may try to make certain decisions, and what would your woman say? I don't want to do that. With the 50-50 mindset now, shoot, you ain't gonna have certain respect in that dang house. But at least that's my short-minded take on it right now. Men do that stuff because they believe there's certain benefits that come with that. I'll say weak-minded men.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, right? I do think this. Now, somebody has said society. I'm seeing one say movies. I'm gonna agree to that one. Movies, but it could go one and one with each other. The movies could play a part in the message that it gives society, which in turn will wind up affecting the house. Because a lot of people tune into movies, and whether they realize it or not, there's a lot of subliminal messages put in movies, and it could be just for a second, and then it gets inside your head, and now you're talking and have this conversation, this argument in your house about something that y'all never had an issue with before, but it has it. Sometimes, especially with our children, we watch movies like they had the Mario movie that came out, and a lot of kids love that movie. A lot of kids love that movie. But they had just the whole movie for the most part is good up until one 15-second skit within the movie where it showed Browser and one of his male minions about to kiss one another. And that goes right, usually that part goes right over the head of people, but then it's that 1 15-second skit right up in there that if once it's pushed, you be like this, okay, well, how does this play a part inside the topic? The same way that it has those very small moments inside of movies like that, it has it in multiple amount of movies in regards to the household between man and woman. So you got to think, like, for example, go to Genesis chapter 3. It's been a while. I need to pull a script. Go to Genesis chapter 3, verse, I want to say 2 or 3.
Chapter 2 and verse 3. And God blessed the seventh day.
No, chapter 3.
Oh, my apologies.
Verse 2 or verse 3. It's like somewhere in there. I want to say when the serpent started talking to Eve.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 2.
Yeah.
And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it.
Right. So now this whole thing is an allegory or a metaphor. That's a more common word, similar to a riddle. That's another word that scriptures use, like a riddle, right? It's speaking about one thing, but it's really pertaining to another thing. So it's making mention of a serpent. A serpent, that's a man. He's just deceiving in how he talks, how he deals. It's talking about a actual person. It's not a real snake. Okay, it's talking about a person there. And then now when it's talking about Eve, that's a woman. She said we can eat of the actual fruit that's out in the garden, because all of the fruit that bring forth seed, we can eat. That's for us. But the people, that's the tree that's in the middle. He's talking about that one. The people that's out there, that's also below us, I can't deal with them because I'm going to wind up learning from their ways. And then they're going to wind up teaching me something that I'm going to bring to my house that will eventually destroy it. That's what he's talking. That's what's being talked about here. Watch, go ahead. Watch this.
Neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened.
Right.
And ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
So why am I touching on this? Because you got to think, just for a second, women, think. Y'all were literally on top of the world, underneath the man, of course. Y'all were on top of it. There was nothing that you did not need. You had everything at your beck and call. Like, whatever you needed, it was right there. Easy. Snap of a finger. Right? But there was always just this thing, even from the very beginning, where the woman had a power struggle wanting to be over the man. Always. It was always there. So Satan, that's the serpent, Satan, or man, just like how the so-called white man or the Caucasians, they do today with how they put these things out like welfare, WIC, Planned Parenthood, so on and so forth. Things they'll wind up separating you from an actual family. They put these things out there that wind up separating you, saying, no, you could be independent, you could be strong, you can be by yourself, you could be all this other stuff. The same thing that's getting pushed today, they pushed back to Eve back then. It's just they say, hey, you could be a god just like Adam. And she liked it. Watch, go ahead.
Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes,
Read.
and a tree to be desired to make one wise.
So she really liked what she was being told by the serpent. She was like, you know what? This sounds too good to be true. I got to have a piece of this. Go ahead. It wasn't an apple that she bit. It don't even say that in the chapter. It was an ideology, a thought, an idea that she grew a lust for, that she wanted to take hold from, that the serpent was feeding her. He was letting her know things that she wanted to take from him so she could be as a god, just like Adam. It was all a lie, but go ahead.
She took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
So she learned it, then went back to the house with her man and then said, hey, we could be 50-50. That's what the beginning of this is. That's what the beginning of this 50-50 garbage is. When Eve wanted to be as a god with Adam, she wanted to be similar with him. And you think that there's nothing new under the sun. This whole 50-50 argument started way back when man and woman was first placed on this planet. It's the oldest argument in the book, the oldest trick in the book, and it still worked. That's why it says in the New Testament in Revelation, it says that old serpent called the devil and Satan. You know?
Hey, to your point, JB, you can't. Who is this? You can't convince somebody with something they already have. So if a man is already the head or already has authority, you can't convince him with something like that. You can only. What did he have to do? He had to go to somebody that wasn't of that. That wasn't her position. So with that in mind, he tempted her with that. And a lot of people are tempted with it today, with that level of, I would say, godlyhood, that level of equality. They're tempted with that. Hey, we're going to put new laws in place that put you on a certain pedestal, that make you think, that makes you believe that you will have the same equal opportunities and the same outcomes. But on the same note, they don't really want the same opportunities. They just want the same authority. You got it, bro.
Yeah, that's it. They just want the same authority. So it's like, what's really going on here? What's really going on? They just want the same authority, same power. That's what the whole feminist movement, it was just another loop right around the same thing. But see, even with that, like the feminists, I want some people to come up on stage. I have some questions. I'm holding back my questions. I'm stalling a little.
I mean, I get it.
JB, you said they want man problems. I mean, they want man authority, but they don't want man problems.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really it. Because men have to deal with certain troubles in societies. And I'll tell you right now, in the 50s and the 60s, it was more prevalent than anything. When the struggle was more, I would say, widely known, it was out there on the forefront where you had the struggle for certain rights and certain privileges and such, just to drink from the same water fountain. The knowledge of where you placed was easier understood. But as we start to get more, I ain't gonna say civilized. What's the word I'm looking for?
Assimilated.
Assimilated. I think that's the most appropriate word. As we became more assimilated, those lines became blurred. Those lines became really blurred. You know what? All of us have this. Not only amongst the pigments, we became more equal. We should become more equal between the genders. You know what I'm saying? And now people don't know where they place at. People don't know where they're supposed to be at. Or people question it. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? Back in the 60s, hell, from I want to say the 60s and backwards, anytime before. But the 60s and forward is when it started to get a little crazy, but the 60s and backwards. The reason why we were on the same page, man and woman, is because the same one who had brought us into captivity treated all of us, male and female, like N-words, like ish. They treated all of us, but then after they, what's the word? Unalived, it don't hit home like the other word, but it's okay.
Unalive is the word.
That's the word. I know it just don't hit home, man. But okay. After they unalived Malcolm X and they got rid of the last one, that's when they started to delete and get rid of the nuclear family. The second they did that, look at the stats. Somebody prove me wrong. 1970, look it up. 1970 is when the marriage in the black community declined like crazy. 69 and backwards, it was good. From 70 and forward, it went to SHIT. 50-50. Lord have mercy. That's all I got, man.
I'll tell you right now. In this modern society, people are starting to see the I ain't gonna say the benefits, the results of equality. or 50-50. I don't want to say equality. I don't want people to think about the wrong term. But he says Section 8 played a factor. The question is, how does Section 8 play a factor, man?
Gabriel,
Go ahead,
JB
Joe.
said something. He said something heavy, where it was like back during the '60s and backwards, it was common or plainly seen that they treated both the black woman and the black man similarly or the same. Now, what's so interesting is that they still treat them both the same. They just disguise it better, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's a football player. I think he with what's that girl named Taylor Swift now, right? But prior to that, he was dealing with like black women prior to that, and it mistreated the hell out of them and everything, you know, because the mindset didn't change. They still treat our women the same way. It's just they hide it a lot better. So to the untrained eye, they treat them better. But the only thing is like that old lie back in the garden. They make you think what they're doing is right and just and clean, right? They present themselves as an angel of light. But the end goal is to destroy you and your people. And they fell for it, bro. And they still falling for it. That's why the play didn't change. The playbook didn't change. It's the same playbook. You just keep falling for it.
Mm. Now you on the spirit, young Simba, bro. You on the spirit. It's the same playbook, nothing new, just a different time frame. The question is, have you been bewitched by this new stuff that's coming out? We want to invite some of y'all up to the stage, but I know some of y'all ain't got the follows, but some of y'all do got the follows, and y'all just haven't got up there. It says to separate the black man from our households, tick for tack. You want free rent? No man can reside. Why would they? The question is though, Dr. Dunlap. The question you have to ask yourself is, why would it have to benefit that? Why would it? Why? What's the benefit of having a household like that? Who benefits from a household like that? Dr. Dunlap. Or if you want to get up, those who want to get on stage, hey Kimmy, how you doing, sis?
Hello.
How you doing, yo?
Good. I saw the question. I don't really know what the topic is, but I feel like this is
If you will,
interesting.
I can speak on it. I can briefly describe it, and then we can dialogue, sis.
Okay.
All right, my name's Gabriel. I'm Gabriel. I'm the host of Biblical Smoke tonight. You got just briefly, you got Young Simba, you got Yosef, and you got JB on stage as well. The topic of the day is the woman 50-50 or equal with the man? All right, this platform, we come straight out the Bible, and we like to dialogue and find out where our people mind is at. So does that give like a general sense of where we at right now?
It does. When you say 50-50 though, in what aspect? Like 50-50 financially, 50-50 like in what aspect are you saying 50-50?
So as we heard yesterday, 1 second, I got somebody else wanting to come up. 1 second, Kimmy, ABS. 1 second, all right. I just want to let you know we're gonna get to you. We're speaking to Kimmy right now, all right? All right. So 50-50, as we heard yesterday, when we was running this room, we heard that 50-50 in all aspects.
Okay. Can I give my opinion now or should I wait?
Well, let me. I want to clarify just for a second before you, because I would love to hear your response to it. But the same way, like for example, I forget who made the song, but you know the song how they said this is a man's world.
Yeah.
Right.
James Brown.
Thank you, James Brown. Lord have mercy, I almost forgot. So, anyways, yeah, bear with me, brothers, bear with me. So, same way how like this is a man's world. It's always been known, whether dating back to when we had the first kings and however it was put out, rights of land. It was always the man that was in front, and then the women and the women behind, right? So, or at least assisting her man. So, the question is coming in now, because after a certain time within the 60s, there's this thing that came out with feminist movement 50-50. When we ask this question, it's coming to the purpose of, does it make sense for the household to be 50-50, or traditional, or should it be modern, which is 50-50? Modern is 50-50, traditional is man leads the woman. So you go ahead.
So, I feel like this day and age, we forget a lot of our traditions. Like, we really do. But I don't believe in the modern 50-50. I think that the man especially the black man, has a lot of responsibility.
What does that have to do with anything?
No, I'm just saying the black man, because I'm just saying.
Hey,
Okay,
business,
we can say all men.
business. We're gonna get to you right quick.
We can say all men. Don't matter, all men.
As you should say all men.
Okay.
Calm down, bro. We're gonna get to you. Relax.
We're gonna get to you, BS, bro.
No, I have no problem. I'm just thinking of for us, like
it's okay.
White women, black women, we should all treat women the same. But
well,
I
got you.
We do biblical smoke a little different. We are the moderators. We're gonna get to everybody one at a time. We want everybody to speak their piece to a certain degree. JB is gonna be dealing with Kimmy right quick, and we're gonna get to you, BS. All right, respectfully.
I'm sorry if I.
You good, sis? You good? We all straight. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but yes. So I believe there is no 50-50. Thinking modern, I don't believe that there is a 50-50. I think women should definitely realize how powerful and being feminine and being in their feminine energy is. You can support the man from all angles, and you can uplift that man, and that man will bring you everything, where you won't have to worry about anything being 50-50. So I definitely believe that the man have a lot to carry, but the woman being there, we don't have to be frontline like the man is, but I do believe that we play a major part just being wholesome with that man, where there is no division or
So let me cut in for a second. I like the word that you just used, division, because I don't disagree with what a lot you said. Quite frankly, me mentioning this, I'm not saying that I disagree either, but I want to kind of challenge it just a bit. What things will cause a division? Let's start there. Let's unravel it there. What will cause a division to make it seem as though, okay, well, most times it isn't 50-50, I'll let him lead. But in situations like this, then we can at least, we can meet eye to eye here. Like, let me ask this. Could dress code play a part in that?
I don't mix it so much. Dress code, we were all naked at one point, where we was never like that wasn't our focus. I feel like in this modern world that we live in, there's cards that are put in place. Financial situation, women are more independent. And when I say more independent, meaning we are now competing with men. Like, we're competing with men, where it's like whether to financially be stable or occupational wise or whatever. We're now we're competing because now we're showing that we're independent. So I don't really believe it's like dress code that comes into play. I feel like I don't feel like that's where it got mixed up. It got mixed up where we started thinking different. I don't know where really this started.
Well, let let me real quick. Let me cut in again. So you say you don't believe that's where, and I'm not saying, I'm not advocating that is where it started. That's not where I was getting at. What I was challenging instead was things that, for example, they have, I'll say it's about like 30-70. Like there's like 30% of women who believe that the man should lead in this world right now, and like 70% maybe that say, nah, it's 50-50 or I have the power. But let's say, for example, things that would kind of attack that 50-50 idea if it came down to something very simple as what you put on, right? And I made it small like that because there's bigger things that we could definitely talk about in regards to 50-50. But I definitely made it small to see exactly. I'm gauging it a bit. If you rocking with me, you see what I'm saying? Like if it came down to dress code, if he said that he wanted you to wear this continuously, never changing the kind of dress code that it is, can he change your dress code?
Can my man change my dress code?
Right. Let's say you like to wear jeans, leggings, and whatnot outside, and work out with it. I don't know.
I believe like
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
believe when you this is just me learning every day. I like learning from my environment all the time. If I choose a man, because that's it's part of it. If I choose a man, and mind you, I chose this man to lead and guide me. If my man is like, for my man's happiness, and if we on the same boat, if I want this man, if I believe in this man, if this man is guiding me, absolutely. Because I'm for what that man I'm for what that man wants. I don't really, I have a goal already. I chose up, so it's like absolutely, it's what he likes, it's what I'm gonna put on.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So all right, that's tier 1. We got that. So all right, that's dress code, whatever he wants it. Okay, good, cool. All right, so tier 2. Let's say, for example, I guess that's still like a tier 1 question. I'm thinking about foods and whatnot. Let's say, for example, you wanted to, like your parents came into play, right? There was something that your father strongly disagreed with how your man is running the house. But your man has said, "Nah, this is how we're doing it." But your dad, whom you grew up with, and you love, that's your father. Who do you listen to in that situation?
Am I married?
Are you? I'm asking.
No, that's a major part. If I'm in a household with a man, am I married? Because you came up with this scenario, but you're just saying I'm in a household, but I'm asking you, am I married?
Yeah, I was gauging to see exactly how you was going to answer.
So
Would you live with a man if you were not married?
absolutely not.
Okay, so let's say that you are.
So if I'm married, yeah, that I can go to my dad for advice and see how I'm gonna play it out, but I'm in a different household. The Bible say once you get married, it's your husband. So I can't really just go back home to my husband and be like, well, my daddy said, like, no. It's more like I can go to my father for advice and I
Well,
can hear him out.
well, I mean, you say you wouldn't go back home to your husband and say, well, your dad said, but you did just say that you'll go to him for advice. So I see what you're saying, but I'm a come at
Your
it a bit.
question was pretty straightforward. You
Yeah.
said, if I'm in a household with a man and he
Yeah.
wants to run his household a certain way,
Right.
and I was raised with my father, like, pretty much from what I'm getting out of it, if I'm going to be listening to my father, that's why I asked you if I'm married, because if I'm married in a household, it's no longer my daddy's opinions or decision making. It's a whole different ball game. I'm with the man already. This is the man I chose to guide me. This is the man I married. So it's like, I can go, like, if I feel like, oh, I'm not agreeing with my man at home, If I trust in my father, I could just go back home and be like, yo, dad. And me and my dad's like, you know, we tight. So I could just go back home and be like, yo, dad, this is what's going on. What do you think? He could give me advice, but my dad can't intrude. My dad can't come back and talk about what you say. Like, none of that.
Well, I think
That's
that's why
not
that's
happening.
because your answer is fine up until this certain point, which is why I'm challenging. So your whole answer ain't off. So don't think that's what I'm getting at. But I'm saying, like, let's say for example, your dad and your husband is at odds, right? And the
This
reason why
is
I'm
a
bringing this
different
up, let me say,
scenario, by the way.
yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a different scenario because I'm just gauging it up. We was at tier 1 at first, but now we're going to tier 2, 3.
Okay.
So, because the reason why I'm bringing these questions up is because a lot of this stuff, when women and men, when they prove each other, they start to get to know each other for marriage, because none of us up here subscribe to boyfriend girlfriend. It's supposed to be marriage. Usually these kind of questions, when they're starting to get to know each other down the line, they never ask it, and they find out the hard way while they're in the relationship. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing here. So let's say that they were at odds with one another, but the advice that you got from your dad is contrary to what, and it might sound good. Like, matter of fact, hold up real quick before I finish it. I do want to read something before I finish it. Give me Sirach. I want to say Ecclesiasticus 37. It says, "Beware of a counselor," but I just want you to hear out how I'm gonna bring it out.
Okay.
It's like a long verse, if you know what I'm talking about.
What you looking for?
It says, "Beware of a counselor, and know what need he hath." That something like that. It's
Sirach
like
37. I believe. Sirach 37.
I got it, sir. The book of Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 8.
Come on.
Beware of a counselor,
Uh-huh.
and know before what need he hath.
Go ahead.
For he will counsel for himself,
Go ahead.
lest he cast the lot upon thee.
So the reason why I read that is this. Even with families sometimes, right? Because when you get advice from your dad, which your dad might not have any ill intention, especially if you and your husband and your dad may have a good relationship, and he might be giving you advice from a male perspective, and it actually helps your house out. Cool. But let's say, for example, in the case which also happens, that your husband and your dad don't have a good relationship. When you have to be mindful about when you're getting advice, even from friends. You have to be mindful about who you're getting advice from, no matter how close you are. Because a lot of people, especially if they have strong emotion towards you, whether it's love as a friendship or whatever the case is, they'll counsel to benefit themselves versus actually helping you. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Okay. So that's why it says, I'm going to give you one more. Then I'm going to ask you one more question. It's a bit harder, the next one. I'm going to give you one more. Go to Sirach chapter 6. When it says it's something like be a friend for an occasion, that one. I think it's 12, somewhere around there.
Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6 and verse 8.
And by the way, everybody, if y'all don't know what we're reading, it's the Bible, 1611 King James Version Bible. Okay, go ahead.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
Right. So, Kimmy, what does that sound like? What does that scripture sound like? Some friends are friend for occasion, but won't abide in the day of trouble. What does that sound like?
Sounds like some friends are monetary. Like, I'm like, for the moment, for the moment, that's what I'm getting.
Okay. Hey, where's that part inside that same chapter? I'm gonna help you out here. Where's that part in the same chapter where it mentions, like, in a day of prosperity, they'll be as thyself?
Verse 11.
Read that. Watch this, Kimmy. Go ahead.
But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself.
Go ahead.
And will be bold over thy servants.
Right. So what's that part mean? Wait. In your prosperity, they'll be like yourself. What's that part? What's that talking about?
In their prosperity, I'm sorry.
In yours, like when you're prospering, they'll be like you. So what's that saying?
So I'm guessing if I'm evolving or if I'm changing or whatever I'm going through, they will be mimic.
Yeah, they would be like, let's say, for example, you're doing good. You might have let's say you have a good job, your marriage is going well, whatever the case is, things are looking up. They're going to be like the closest friends. They're going to be right there next to you, buddy, buddy.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the next verse is what I was getting at. Read the next verse.
If thou be brought low, he will be against thee.
Mm-hmm.
Will hide himself from thy face.
Right. So when problems go on and there's issues, that's when the counselors that's when you have to be mindful of those counselors, because they good to you when things are good, but bad to you when things are bad. So you have to prove a friend in that way too. You know? So let's say, for example, here's my last question, unless any moderators want to add in. So here's my last question. Let's say you get with a guy. Y'all knew each other for a couple years, but maybe you ignored a red flag or two. Let's say that, because sometimes that happens. You ignore a red flag. I don't suggest it, but it happens. You married the guy. If he cheats on you, biblically speaking, if he cheats on you, can you leave the marriage?
No.
You say no. Okay. If you cheat on him, can he leave?
I would think no. If he cheats, he can't leave.
Okay.
I think she got confused a little.
If I cheat, he can't leave.
Okay.
If you cheat, he can't leave. Did I hear you correct?
Yeah, she said that. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Now, if y'all want to add in, go ahead. I've been talking for a while.
No, what I was about to say was that's one of the heavier topics for our sisters, especially concerning the scriptures. Understand something. The level of what we believe to be equal is not concerned, it's not found in the Bible. Give me one scripture. I believe it's Ezekiel 14 right quick, bro. Can you listen to this? Like I said, we appreciate you hopping on and listening, all right? If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to ask, all right?
Absolutely. I think this is interesting because I didn't know, like, I just started my journey with the Bible. I feel like there's a lot to learn, but I also have a lot of questions because I am from the modern world. I try not to be a part of that world, but I am like here. I'm still, like I said, I feel like I'm learning a lot and I do have a lot of questions. So I feel like this is great that you guys, have this platform.
Yeah, we try to give you something different from the usual butt shaking that's on TikTok. We trying to give some actual educational stuff on TikTok for once in life.
Before I accept that person on the stage, I gotta know who that is. I'm not gonna take him up on the stage just yet. Give me 1 second. Yasha Yaka. Am I reading that right? Give me Ezekiel. I think it might be 18. It says, you think the Lord is not fair. It might be Ezekiel 18, sorry. Y'all gotta forgive me. I haven't pulled this in a minute. Ezekiel 18 and 19, right quick.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 18 and verse 19. Say ye, why doth not the son bear the iniquity of the father? When the son hath done that which is lawful and right, and hath kept all my statutes, and have done them, he shall surely live. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son.
You couldn't hear me. You couldn't hear me. My bad, you. My bad. I found out what JB found out. It might have been Young Simba the hard way. Give me a second. When I
You got the way
change the Bible.
Yeah.
You ain't on there no more.
Yeah, I'm like, he's still reading. I could have sworn I was talking. Yeah, I'm in the right chapter, Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 29. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 18 and verse 29.
Let me see. Hold up. Do I want to bring him up on stage? All right, we're going to see what's up, bro. Go ahead.
Verse 29. Yet saith the house of Israel, the way of the Lord is not equal.
Listen, what did he say?
The way of the Lord is not equal.
Go ahead.
O house of Israel, are not my ways equal? Are not your ways unequal?
So we would say about God that his ways are unequal. But God says the way that he set everything up is equal. Captain Kim, well, in the spirit, he listening in. The ways of the Lord are equal. So when you look at the way God set up marriage, he set it up as equal and equity as he could. You understand? He designed everything for its exact purpose. So when you go to scriptures like Sirach chapter 33, go there right quick. Captain Camille in the spirit. I said, yeah, hey, JB, you ever just be sitting there like that? Man, the angels is listening. I think it's Sirach 33. Yeah. Sirach 33 and verse, let me see. Verse 14.
The book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 14.
Matter of fact, read verse 13, sorry.
Verse 13. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure.
This is talking about God, Kimby. So as God is the master, he's the master potter. So as we are the clay, he said, as we are in his hand to fashion it as he will. Go ahead.
So man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best.
To render to him that he liketh him best. So the question now is, where does God design the man and the woman best? What do you think?